What are we doing? Hi. Hello?
Great start.
Great start.
Buyer's remorse.
Hello and welcome to Buyer's Remorse. I'm Darren.
I'm Justin.
Here on this show, we take a look at each other's libraries for games that we haven't played yet, and then force each other to play them for an hour to see if they're dreadful or amazing works of art. Yeah, report back and see how it went. What gem have I uncovered for you today?
Well, speaking of art, you had me play The Artifact.
Okay.
You have this game.
The Artifact. I like this game.
I suspected you might. This is from June of 2017. Developed by a bunch of guys who need to get a company name for their... because they put all the names down.
Oh, really?
Like Colin Wren, Sean Scapplehorn, Wayne Jackson, Jason Mullet. You have to click the plus to get all of the names.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Published by Enigma Games, Limited, KPL, which I don't know what KPL is.
Nope.
It's $8 a base. Overall, mixed reviews, 135 reviews though, so not many to get an aggregate. Mm-hmm. Darren likes it.
I think I probably gave it a positive review.
I think you did, actually. Yeah. You can definitely get it for cheaper than $8.
Yeah, I had this one on my wish list. I picked up on a massive sale. $2 maybe.
It's basically a really cheap version of like The Room 2. Yeah. Maybe a bit Mechanica Museum, but not quite. It's very point-and-click puzzle.
Yeah, it's basically, what you said. It's The Room meets 2001.
They found this artifact. It's cold. It's got some sort of power. They think it's a probe from another alien race or something. Maybe there's more story to it, but I should have been able to finish in the hour, I feel like, but I didn't.
Right, okay.
Keep that in mind. How long to beat has it at about an hour to an hour and a half for the completionist.
Of course they do, yeah. Oh, you can finish this in 15 minutes, guys. Yeah.
I couldn't because there are a couple parts that didn't seem to work very well. I hit a couple of white screen glitches where the game just wouldn't progress anymore.
Yikes. There
were a couple puzzles that I found tricky just because I was missing something simple. Mm-hmm. Much like The Room, you get different sorts of vision. So you have a sort of UV vision, and then later in the game I got some sort of DNA vision where I could grab bits of DNA to do a puzzle that ended my run because I can't seem to make it work. And I'm so worried that it's a bug. I didn't see anybody else mention this bug though, but pretty sure I solved that puzzle. Let's get to that at the end, though.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, it's been a long time since I played this one, so I won't be able to help you with it. I can barely remember it. I remember liking it. It was short and it was fun for me, but let's get into it then.
Yeah, I mean, this would be a good dollar game, basically, a puzzle game. You start off in a cryogenic chamber. You get out, but you don't help the other two people out. No. Just leave them there. It's very awkward going in and out of puzzles. Kind of like The Room, but feels less natural.
Yeah, I remember that. It's quite clunky to move around and stuff.
Yeah, and the backing up, there's a little backing up arrow on the corner of the screen, and the hitbox for it just seems a little weird. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm clicking on it, but it's not going anywhere. That kind of thing. Really easy sort of matching puzzles. Oh, I need these numbers. Click on the box. Something opens. Here are the 4 numbers you need. Okay, great. Take the thing from there. It's used in the other thing. I mean, much of this game feels like a tutorial for any other longer puzzle game.
Yeah.
But it's not bad. The whole first level, the first chapter, which is meant to be your tutorial, but also you do some puzzles. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's okay. You go through and you essentially need to get this disc so that you can put it into, they call it something like a cube viewfinder or something. Basically, that's how you get your UV eye so that you can see the passcode to get out of the place. This takes you into the warehouse. Okay, now, spoilers if you don't want to know the puzzles, because that's all this game is. Yes, there's a story. The story is, there's an artifact. That's it. Like, there's really not much more to it. you get little bits on these computer screens, but it really doesn't give much more information than that.
The game does explain more as you play through it. It does reveal the story as you get to the end, and is fully explained by the end-to-end sequence.
Okay, but I didn't get that far, I guess. There was, in this room, I wouldn't even really call it a puzzle. You have to line up the power coordinates. It's not a slide puzzle. They give you all the pieces at the bottom. You just match the picture, which is okay, but it doesn't really take brain power. I was like, okay, that's all right. I like this kind of thing. It's all right. There was a part where there was a hatch on the floor, and I could only open it halfway. And because the game had already glitched out on me a couple times, I was worried that the game was glitching out again.
Right.
When really, that's the way it's designed. I was just meant to use my UV thing, which allows me to see where the switches are under the metal thing. I'm like, I don't think that's how this would work.
That's X-ray vision.
Yeah.
And I'm still not sure X-ray vision works through metal.
Yeah. So none of that seemed to work. I did use a walkthrough to just find out. I meant to just find out, is it supposed to get stuck?
Right.
But then I also inadvertently saw, oh, you're supposed to use your special vision.
Mm-hmm.
And so that kind of gave that away. And then that was kind of it. You move the grappling hook down onto the artifact.
Mm-hmm.
You have to program it. And they do a nice thing where the commands stay, so you just have to tweak it until you get it right.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that a bit more. And this whole, you don't have to do each step, you're just programming it, go right to, go down to. That I liked a lot, actually. I thought that was quite good. And then, for no apparent reason, I'm on a planet.
Yeah. There's more artifacts. There was like 4 of them outside, I think. Is that right? Am I remembering that correctly?
Not at this part. At this part, there's a weird circle with symbols on it and a 4-fingered hand thing that I was supposed to place.
Yeah. It's like one of those like army tent kind of thing that's set up outside. Yeah, I do remember this part.
There's a color-coded thing that I had to use my special vision for. And then the buttons on the 4, some of them only do 1, some of them do 2 numbers at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Our favorite kind of puzzle.
Yeah.
But actually, it wasn't too bad. No. Because of the ones that do 1, that's fine. It was more, I could see one of the numbers, but you can only see the numbers, it seemed like, if I backed up and looked at them all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
When I was close to it, I could only see one number. And so I thought, oh, I'm going to have to look all the way around, but I didn't. It was right there. But then the DNA, and here's where I got stuck. This was the end of my run.
Okay.
You do everything so that you can get another one of those vision things. You can now see DNA, which you can just grab. So I grabbed the 4 bits of DNA for this puzzle, put it on there, and there is a line at the top. This is the line you need to match.
Mm-hmm.
And then each line below it is one of the color patterns. Red, blue, green, and there's one that's white and gray.
Okay.
But it's very strange in the fact that I feel like I lined it up a number of times, but the bottom line, which is my result, didn't match up. So I was wondering if they don't necessarily, it's not a 1-to-1 correlation of the middle lines that I can control and the bottom one. Maybe they're off slightly. One of those kind of puzzles. We've seen that in definitely the We Were Here series.
Yep.
And there's another one too that I can't think of at the moment. But we've seen that where what you're looking at is not exactly what the result is. So you have to account for that sort of drift, that sort of difference. I don't know if that's what's happening here. And so many times I feel like I've set it up so that the lines look like they match. And I'm looking at the walkthrough and I'm looking at the picture going, it looks like it matches, but nothing seems to be triggering.
Uh-oh.
So I'm worried that I hit a glitch.
That's a shame.
Yeah, because it can't be much longer. I flew through this whole thing. I mean, that was an hour, and I probably spent 10 minutes on this thing. There's only a 4th chapter, I think.
Yeah, I think there's one more room after this, basically, and then you're finished, yeah.
So I might try uninstalling, reinstalling. I might give it another go.
So you looked at the walkthrough, and you were doing what the walkthrough said, and it still wasn't triggering.
Yeah, it basically said, match the bottom line with the top line. And I'm looking at them thinking they look the same to me. So maybe there's one that's slightly off, but I've tried so many combinations now. I just don't know what else to do.
That's weird. Yeah. So you can't recommend this to me because I've already played it and finished it, but who would you recommend it to?
People who like this kind of puzzle game.
Would you recommend it to room fans, things like people like that?
If they can get it really cheaply and understanding that this is a way
yeah.
easier, not as pretty version, I think it might scratch the itch for an hour.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people want. They just want a casual puzzle game that they can do in a short amount of time. I could see this being great. I would like to see more of this one. I don't know how the story ends, but
it ends exactly how you think it's going to. From what you know about it already, it ends exactly how you think it's going to end.
Okay. But the thing is, for me, is I would like to have a series of really short puzzle games I could just hop in and hop out of. I have a couple going right now where the puzzles, that's the kind of idea. You do this level and then you're done. And then you can come back later and do that. This has that. It has the 4 chapters. And it only takes an hour and a half to probably do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think $8 is a bit much for this kind of game. But if they're doing the $8 so that they can do the constant, 75% off or whatever. Yeah, that's fine. I think I would like to have puzzles that are a little bit more challenging. Right now, a lot of stuff is just kind of like matching.
Or puzzles that work.
Well, that would be a huge issue. But I think I do want to step back in. I would like to finish it because I know I'm so close.
Right, yeah. Plus, even if you had to uninstall it, reinstall it, and start from scratch, you could fly through it this time. You'd get back to where you were in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So you are going to go back then?
I think so.
Yeah? That's not boding well for me. What tags did you give it then?
Puzzle, point and click, indie.
Fair enough. Straightforward enough. And yeah, sounds like I know the answer to this one. But yeah, buyer's confirmation or buyer's remorse then?
Boy, the thing is, if I get back into it, and it still doesn't work, and I can't finish the game, that would be a remorse. But I enjoyed the first hour. It was fun to do a really easy version of a lot of the games that we've done before. I enjoyed it. So at least for that first hour, I will say this is a confirmation.
Buyer's confirmation.
Check the pinned comment later to see if Justin finished it or not. See if it was finishable.